bags here. I'll make a few bucks for it if you buy it from that link. You don't have to have a bag. You can roll up a old pillow or something like that. This is great for a lot of drills though, but the way I'm imagining this here, let's imagine this is an impact and I almost have it angled like this. So I'm gonna go ahead, set up in my normal position. I'm gonna stand up in front of me like we just talked about our starting position. Well, that's about where this impact bag would be. And if I'm making the top of my backswing position to impact, it's like I'm chopping into that bag. That's a great feeling to have for the correct golf swing. Now another piece of that, if you want to shallow out this club, you don't want to chop down vertical like I said. You imagine the hand angle is like this. I want to keep my club on this side of that hand angle. That's shallow, that's from the inside, that's what would be lag when I'm in my normal golf swing. So my club stays on this side of my hand angle. So if you imagine that here's the angle of my hands, I'll make sure the club stays shallower than that as it's coming down. And that would be perfect for what we're doing in the golf swing. Now all you have to do is bend over in your posture, rotate back and through, and you've pretty much got it nailed. So let me give you a little surefire way to get the rotation right. So we've done the hand angle to get that at the great position at the top of the backswing. Again, I'll go over that here. That would be this in a real golf swing. Right, picking that club up over the right shoulder. As I'm in my posture, that looks like a normal swing. Now the second piece is I'm going to put this club inside my right ankle. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a club across my shoulders. Now make sure it's all the way up at the top of your shoulders here. As I go to the top of the backswing, I'm just going to rotate until that club is over top of the club on the ground. So if I dropped it, if my leg wasn't in the way, this club would fall down and fall directly onto this club. If you want to do one better than that, rotate past that club. So I'll put the grip in kind of sticking out so you can see it. This would be great. If I go a little past that, that would be even better to where my club rotates here. The reason I have this club on the ground is I don't want to do this. I don't want to fall to my left. Now I made a bad turn, and if I drop the club, it would be way over here somewhere. I want to get a weight shift over to the right and get my club on my shoulders matching that club on the ground. That's the backswing. Add a little bit of a tilt or an angle to it. Now you're swinging on a plane, just like you are in the real swing. And as I finish that, I'm going to come all the way around, and I'm going to feel like if I stick this grip out of my right shoulder, as I come through, I'm just going to feel like I get this pointing toward the target as much as I can. Now, if you're not very flexible, it's going to be very important to let this left foot rotate open in the follow through. It's also going to be very important to get the right foot all the way off the ground to let everything turn on through there. But then again, that's the backswing. I'm rotating back, I'm rotating through as far as I can. That motion with this motion is a golf swing. So practice each of those individually, and then once you get the feel for them, this is exactly what I feel like I'm doing when I make a real golf swing. My golf swing to me feels like I'm doing this. Like I'm almost just hitting into the back of the ball just like that. And as you rotate back and through, it just feels very repeatable. It takes all my hands and arms out of it because when I'm doing this, again, I can get a lot of lag in this club angle and then boom, let that lag release. It just doesn't feel like I'm having to manipulate it. I'm controlling it with my lats, kind of the same motion you would be doing if you're pulling this way, using the big muscles in your back of the lats. That's an easy way to get speed there too. So just lift my hand up over my right shoulder. That's exactly what the golf swing is. And we'll go ahead and add the left hand to there. This is the top of the backswing position. So if you can do this correctly, you can nail a perfect backswing. Now here's what I mean by this. I'm doing this motion at the top of the backswing and I'm adding it to this motion, which I'm rotating my body back and I'm rotating my body through. When I put both of those things together, this motion with the rotation, that's when I get a golf swing. So let me break it down for you. Let me get the perfect position to show you how to do this where you can see your hands in front of your body. Then when you add the rotation, we're going to be hitting that perfect backswing positions time after time. So first, let's talk about where the setup position would be. So I'm going to go ahead and address this golf ball here, getting a good setup. And if I stand up out of my posture, my hands would be right here. They're slightly in front of what would be the golf club head or the golf ball, and they're about waist high. So I'm just bending forward to put them to the ball. I'm standing straight up so that now I can see my hand position. Let's go ahead and lose the club and the left hand for now to make things easier. I'm going to start with my hand kind of in front of my left hip, and I'm just going to fold it up to where it's about eye level height. It's over my right shoulder, so I don't want it here in front of my body like this. I want it to be kind of on the outside of my right shoulder. If you have a lot of flexibility in your right arm, you're going to be able to turn that forearm to where it's straight up and down, or even slightly out like this. I don't have very much flexibility in my right shoulder, so my forearm is going to be slightly in. Totally fine. This means I have to move my arm, my upper arm, a little bit more out that way to get it in a good position. Now, a big mistake here is when a lot of players think about this arm going across, is this right arm really bends close to the shoulder. It should be wider out here like this. So if I imagine this being in front of my arm, this would be kind of in line with my face. That's way too much to the side. I want to keep that width, or keep that hand in front of me on this position here. Now, the reason that's so important is in a golf swing, if we have it out in front of us versus beside us, well, if it's beside me, all of a sudden that left arm bends and this club is getting way too deep this way. If I keep it out in front of me, now as I rotate, I'm keeping that width. You hear all the time great players, great pros talking about keeping that width back and down. That's what they mean. Hands a little bit more this way rather than being sucked behind them like that. That sucked behind them position is these hands really close to my body rather than keeping that width like you're seeing with the top pros.